I was so close. I noticed it right at the last minute that there was something on the screen that shouldn't have been there, and I did not get it down fast enough. But welcome.
Hello.
Hi, ladies. Podcast
Hello.
36 of the ladies edition.
It's great to see you and be with you both today, the
Yeah.
next hour or so.
My favorite Wednesday of the month, the third one.
Hard to believe that this Wednesday is already here, though. Feels like we were just here a couple days ago.
I feel like that feeling never goes away.
And I missed the
Every
last
time.
podcast. So for me, it feels a little bit longer.
Fair. Every time the third Wednesday creeps up, I'm like, how is it already here? Like, how are we back again? But
amazing. Well,
yeah.
Nice work, Kate, for putting together another amazing podcast lineup.
Yeah,
amazing job.
It's a little bit of like a mishmash. We have like a few things to kind of go over.
I love it.
Yeah, but it was kind of just one of those times. We had TPC not that long ago. There's a lot of other things that have been happening, some big announcements that have happened on Facebook. So we just kind of wanted to touch base on a little bit of everything. So that'll be really nice. There's been like, it feels like every weekend, again, I feel like we always say that, but every weekend there's something on the go. We had, in Alberta anyway, we had like our tournament masters, and then the very next weekend was TPC here at Sherwood Bowl. And then right after that, we've had like just little local tournaments. We've had our IP qualifying. It's just kind of a little bit of everything. Pro leagues thrown in there.
I feel like it's like that all across the country. And the further we get into the season, the more chaotic it is. And like, I guess we worship the chaos. So it's great.
There's no weekends off.
This is true. This is
true. Truly. I kind of pulled up a few things that we can just go through really quick here. I'm just going to make sure it's like actually present. Okay, let's see here. First up, Pro League. I don't know who's been like watching Pro League. There's been a couple teams. We just still have a few teams that haven't got into this season yet. We have a couple teams that haven't hit the lanes yet. But last weekend, Next Gen, I did not have it on my bingo card. Like, obviously, all the teams are really strong, but to have a sweep against a team that's been in the playoffs and in almost the finals of the playoffs every season is a big match.
Yeah, I mean, what a weekend and what a match.
It's a standard to like for them to have like 1,400 plus, it seems.
I think they were just over 1,250. So like they still had a great game. It was like a 250 average kind of game, but I was talking to Tyler after.
Rollers just went off.
That's what he's like, all they did was throw strikes. There were so many strikes.
Well, the Rock and Rollers earlier that day, they had a really close match. And it was every game in 10, they lost by like a handful of pins and went 4-4 split. And I feel like that must have just fired them up and got them like angry because they came out absolutely guns blazing.
Yeah. They threw fantastic. I think at one point in time, one of them had 7 or 8 in a row, Mitchell, I believe. And then there was just like everybody was on runs. I watched that match while I was at IP qualifying here in Edmonton, but yeah, there was no stopping them. I mean, there's no defense in bowling, but like they didn't even care if there was an offense on the other side. They just steamrolled through. It was really good.
I also feel like that Rock and Rollers Kingpin match that kind of lit the Rock and Rollers on fire, lit the Kingpins on fire because their next game, they came out absolutely guns blazing too.
Yeah. It's crazy how many teams are sitting like above, a 600 average right now. Like so many teams in playoff contention. I mean, it's early in the season, obviously, but just no one is showing any signs of letting up. Even teams like we have over on the Schwartz, I can't remember which division's which anymore. Cargill, I believe, with the BPG Bombers. They had a rough start to their season and then all of a sudden came out swinging in their last 2 matches, which I think was kind of like a do or die situation for them after the way their season started. But still showing that there's life in there and trying to get something going as they get into their season.
Yeah, there's just a lot of insanely good bowling from the 5PL. I don't know if it was it must have been after our last podcast where the dynamite absolutely went off in that match too. What do they have, like a
1680 or something?
Oh, it was a lot of
It was a
of
lot.
pins.
It was, and that was another one that like I think every single person on their team was over 300.
Unreal.
It was, yeah. There's been some good bowling.
Sundays, viewers, head on over. 5-pin league. Check it out.
The bowling does not stop, but definitely something worth checking out. And we're always looking for people to commentate too. So if that's something that you want to front row seat to it early in the morning, that's always something good. But yeah, and then we had TPC at Sherwood. So that was kind of our next big like event that's happened in the WCBT world. They had an excellent turnout. I know Tracy was there. 276 entries, which when we're thinking about how we've added another stop on tour earlier in the season with the Beef Bowl, to still hit 276 entries is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, they did a little bit of a format change this year where they dropped their Thursday night event. They used to have that high roller invitational. They just didn't have quite enough interest in it this year. So they ended up bumping their Thursday shift to 5 o'clock. And for me as a local player, I hope they do that every year, honestly. Like it was so nice to be able, like I don't typically take a Friday off work for a local tournament or a Thursday off work. I just kind of work the whole week. So to have the ability to 2 shift without having to throw both of those shifts on Saturday was so nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
really nice
turnout
for
on that
your
Thursday
body
night.
too.
Yeah. And the third, it was like lanes of 3, I believe, 2s and 3s. So I think they had like 30 some people on the Thursday night shift.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was really worth it. Like it was a good turnout. And I think as more, if they were to do that more often, they would probably get more of that local talent. But they gave out over $55,000 in prize money.
Yeah, it's awesome.
A lot of money. 26 unique females. They had females from BC come out, some faces that we haven't seen at too many of the tour events. Lindsay Christensen was there. Kaylin Bresh was there. Or I guess Kaylin Collins now, not Kaylin Bresh anymore. They had Saskatchewan players. Josie Brooks was there. Taylor Kerr. Manitoba was there. Amanda Deviney I saw. Alyssa was there. She wasn't playing, but she was there supporting. There was Quebec with Chantal Cyr and Isabelle Saunier. Like really good representation from all over the place. And then of course our local talent. And then they had 40 shifts thrown by the females. So it was really excellent.
Amazing.
Show. Yeah. They had the top 40 cut. 2 females made the cut. So myself and Michaela both qualified in the top 24. So we had the first round bye. I went bang, bang. The boys beat up on me a little bit, but, and then Michaela, I think, made it through 1 round on the A side and then, or 1 round on the B side, I believe. So, but it was a great tournament.
Still though, that was a tough cut to make. And not only just make the top 40, but to make the top 24, like that is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So great job to both of you.
Yeah, thanks. We opted this time to bypass Michaela and I of being on the show. I'm here every week anyway. And then Michaela, we just had on for Autumn Open. So obviously we know huge accomplishment to be making a second cut of the season. But we just talked to her. So we probably
she'll be on here a lot.
She'll be on here again, I'm sure. But this time we wanted to bring on the next highest female qualifier. So she didn't quite make the cut. However, somebody who comes out, plays a ton of events at the WCBT tour. She's constantly playing events. And while being the next highest qualifier, threw her personal best ever 18 steps. So
celebrate.
Yeah, we'll bring her in and then we'll get talking to her. Hello, Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
Hey, Kayla.
Yep.
Okay, amazing. I was a little worried about my audio.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
We're here to celebrate you, Kayla.
Thank you.
Amazing accomplishment for you. Your dedication at these tour events has just been amazing to watch the last few years, and super proud of you shooting a 2084, your personal best in one of these events. Talk about some of the games. You started off a little rough, 187, and then you came back super fierce with a massive game, 363. And then a little bit of a low again at 191. So you had this little roller coaster to start, but then after that, super consistent, well above average, 278, 276, 294, 228, and then 267 to round out with a 2084. So beautiful, beautiful bowling.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know if I froze or not.
Your picture's frozen, but your voice is still working.
Okay, well, I'll just talk. You can just stare at that awkward photo of me, and that's fine. But yeah, thank you. The 180 was a little rough. It was on camera too. That I actually had the majority of my punches. Oh, there I am.
Here you are.
The majority of my punches came in that first game. So, and one thing I personally been working on is my middle hit percentage, and I'm still working on that. I think I'm going to be working on that for a while yet. And with hitting the middle more, I've learned kind of the hard way is I do end up punching a lot more. And as someone who's still like very much working on the mechanics of her game, when I punch a lot, it's sometimes really hard for me to bring back a game to a game like a 220, for example. And so for me in that first game, I think I had like 3 or 4 punches, not great. And then when I went to the second game, I was like, well, I kind of have nothing else to lose. Like I'm already behind schedule as per you would need to make a cut. And when I bowl these tournaments, it's never my goal yet to make a cut, just because I myself am working on so many things that my goal really when I go out is to hopefully throw a 1900. That's what I try and set for myself. And I like exceeded that by 184 pins. So one thing I learned from TPC, which has made it blaringly obvious, is how much my mental game is what kind of does me in. So I was really sick on the Thursday. So I did start to feel really like achy, tired. My throat was sore, and just like a little foggy in my head. And I just remember I was trying to think of all the things that I needed to do before I went up on the lane. And I just like couldn't come up with anything. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to go and throw a ball and hope it hits the middle and hope it all works out. And it did. And so I think one thing for me, I just learned that it's my mental game that is maybe getting in the way of some more of my personal goals. And so this season, I'm going to be hopefully working on my mental game.
We call it going in the blender. She goes in the mental blender.
I go in the mental blender.
I did hear that for the first time from Carrie at the TPC.
Yeah.
In reference, Katie, to you.
Yeah. I also go in the blender sometimes.
And I think I have as well many times. So that's okay. That's part of the progress. Kayla, talk to us a little bit about
kind of like the blender, because for us, we always talk about the spiral and how it spirals out of
the
control.
Blender. The spiral's not even visible. It's just a big like.
It's just buzzing away.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about like when you started bowling, how long you've been bowling, and what motivates you in the game today.
Well, you wouldn't be able to tell based off of the amount of work I'm still doing, but I've been bowling since I was like 3 or 4. Very, very long time. So about, let's say 26, 27 years. Competitively, probably the last kind of few years, I've been like 2 or 3, I've been trying to like actively be more competitive in the sport. And that's been really tough for me because I got a lot of really bad habits from not being competitive. And so trying to break those, like I work with Katie. Katie gives up her time to come and practice with me when we can based off of our schedules. And again, just breaking those bad habits is going to be a challenge. My mental game is a bigger challenge, and I've had other people have pointed it out, and they're just like, wow, when you don't think, you really like, it just clicks for you. And I feel like that can resonate with a lot of people, because some of us are mentally stronger than others, and that's fine. Yeah, for me, it's like knowing my weakness has been a big help, so that I can grow in different ways that apply to my game and maybe don't apply to others' games.
Mhm.
Now, you said you learned from this specific shift, like throughout, and recognizing, that maybe your mental game is something that needs a little bit of work. But to shoot your personal best in like a really high stakes moment, like that's phenomenal. So I know you mentioned briefly, like you've bowled in quite a few of these events before. Are there any things that you've learned from some of your past events that maybe helped you to, throw in this really big moment?
For me, I think what I tend to do, and that's that blender moment, is when things aren't going my way, being able to forget about it and then like bounce back. So like my 187, for example, like past me of like 2 years ago, especially with that awful game being on stream first game of the tournament, and like people are watching, I probably would have been like, oh my gosh, I just embarrassed myself so much. Like, how am I going to come back from this? Now I put it in my head that I need this huge game to put myself back into a position that is favorable. And so for me, like, and you saw last year at TPC, I think I only had 1600s to show, and that was terrible. I didn't feel very good. And I went into the mental blender quite a bit. But for this year, I just learning from bowling these tournaments. And again, maybe it's because my approach is not quite where it is for other bowlers of this event. Like, I bowl these events not anticipating to make a cut. I'm bowling them to better myself and to learn. And I think for me, with that mindset, learning through failing has really helped me. And so knowing that it's okay to throw a 1600, it's not the end of the world. And you know what? Next time I'm going to come out and I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go my way, that's okay too. Sometimes great bowlers also throw 1600s. And so I've noticed that, like, just everyone has good days, everyone has bad days, and to not take what I perceive as failure too personally. And so I think it has helped my mental game in parts of it. Obviously, still lots of work, but from comparing myself from when I first started bowling these tournaments, like the nerves, like the mentality that maybe I'm not good enough to be bowling these, to where I am now is just, yeah, maybe I'm not quite there to make a cut yet. I came very, very close, but just the growth of going from I'm never going to make a cut to, well, I could make a cut. I was 50 pins away. And just going with that. So
one thing that,
I love that this is like a common theme, because like our last episode, we had the same thing with Melissa Manor making her first cut at Autumn Open, right? The same kind of thing where, she's going away, not necessarily thinking that she's making the cut, and, slowly but surely kind of building on that to finally making that first cut. So bravo to you for showing up in those moments, and all of your hard work is really paying off. It's fantastic to see.
This is why I like this. Sorry, Haiti. This is one of those things that I love about this podcast, because you have someone like Kayla, and we've interviewed people like this where they bowl YBC, they crush it coming out of YBC. I mean, Megan, you had a lot of strength coming, out of YBC and lots of things like that. But for me, it took me 9 years, Kayla, to make my very first open team in Edmonton. And it took me 9 years to make a provincial masters coming out of YBC. So I didn't have that sort of natural talent, and I had to always kind of work just a little harder to strive to be elite. And what I really love about this moment is there's some passion for the game. You're super motivated, you're dedicated. So we just keep telling you to keep building yourself up, Don't seek validation from anybody. You can be the greatest at the game at any age, and sometimes it just takes certain individuals a little longer than others.
Yeah.
So keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the things that I was really impressed with, because like I've had kind of a front row seat to you bowling many cash events, open qualifiers, all of those things, is often we'll see like you're doing so well, and then it's almost like the reverse of doing really poorly, where like when you're punching and things are going really bad, you can kind of get into that spiral mentally of like things are going really bad, and then that causes problems. But then there's also the flip side of it, and we see it not just from you, and not just like there's lots of it where things are going really well, and you start to realize like I'm really close to like the finish line, and I just have to like do this for a couple more games, and then at the very end in game 9 or game 10 of an open qualifier or game 7 or 8 of a cash tournament qualifier, it just gets a little bit tight and things aren't going well. Like I know we see it from everyone. I've seen it from like the highest average bowlers in a qualifier, that they're like all they have to do is throw a 205 to make a shift, and they come out with a 150, and they're like, well, where did that come from? Like, and that didn't happen to you this time. Like you stayed consistent. You had a little bit of a drop in game 9, but like still a 230-ish, and then a 267 to finish. And like in your 10th frame, you and I were bowling on the same lane that last game, and you threw the first strike in 10. And I remember somebody mentioning that Jeremy had I was almost there, and then I messed it up in the final moment and missed the cut. And you were like, he missed the cut. I'm like, stop worrying about him. Go finish your game. And you threw the turkey in 10 to finish with the 267. I was so impressed and so proud of how you just kept going, and you didn't let that excitement and the adrenaline of being your personal best and being so close make things get tight, right? Because we've seen that before. I think you've seen it in your own game. I've seen it in my game. Like it's not something that it's easy to get away from, but I was really impressed with how you just kept going, plugging along. Yeah.
It just like, it felt different. It was just one of those days where, I don't know, like it just like all the pieces were falling into place. Like it felt like every time I put the ball in the pocket, the pins were falling. And then I think I joked at one point, I'm like, why can't I do this on Thursdays and Sunday nights? Like what is so different that I'm getting all the pins to fall here, and then all I do is get corner pins on Thursdays and Sundays? So I don't know. I
just have to point out though, Kayla and I both decided to keep track of our stats as we played these qualifying shifts, just to kind of take a look at where are some of the holes in our games. And then that way it gives us something to work on. So that was kind of a commitment that I made this season, and she was also doing at the TPC. We went for dinner after this TPC qualifying shift where she beat me, and we went through our stats. And sometimes, you know what, the stats, and I think it's important to realize, like when we looked at our middle hit percentage, it was not quite the same, but I had many more head pins and she didn't have those. And as we're going through the stats, I was sitting there and I'm like, well, how come my spare percentage was better? And how come this was better? But then like your score was higher. It doesn't always equate to the thing, right? Like she was hitting the side of the middle so much more than I was. And I think that's really important, is sometimes it's easy to get kind of weighed down by some of those stats and weighed down and be like, well, I only hit the middle 73% of the time. But like, look at how high your score was at that. And then you make that 85%, all of a sudden, now you're making cuts, no problem, right?
Yeah. And like, I've tried, like, the like science teacher in me is like stats, data, like
analyze it.
So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and that's part of, to my detriment. Like I overanalyze everything. I overthink everything. And I've come to realize in my own personal game that some of my best weeks at league, some of my best tournaments are not when I'm 85, 90% on the middle. I've had so many weeks this year where I had that 85, 87% on the middle, and I didn't even average 200. And so I'm just trying to be kinder to myself when bowling. And it's like, okay, you missed the middle. It's not the end of the world. Now my goal is to go out there and to put a black mark up on the board. And
Mhm.
my spares are like, I don't know, I feel very hit or miss. Like some days I am like right on it. Like my spare percentage is super high. And then like the next week I'm like, okay, I had like a 42% spare rate. That's awful. And again, it's just like being kind to myself and knowing that I'm not maybe at a spot where everything is where I want it to be. My numbers aren't where I want it to be, but so long as it's feeling good and it's something like I'm learning to make adjustments. Like Katie and I have been practicing on like, if I start to get punchy, like I'm getting my 3 or 4 or 5 punches in a row, like not just standing there and going, well, I'm hitting the middle. What more do you want from me? Right. So we've been working on like, okay, don't panic when you have 4 or 5 punches in a row, make an adjustment, make a drastic adjustment at the very last if you have to.
Yeah. Start after a couple punches, make a little adjustment. Then we continue making adjustments from there. But
I think it's also really important. Wow, that was a lot of words altogether. Important to point out. Okay, we got there. That statistics, scores, everything like that, they're a phenomenal tool. It's always important to remember it is just a small snapshot in time, because much like you were saying, the overanalyzing kicks in. Oh, why is this different than it was this time? Better, worse, somewhere in between.
Yeah.
It is just simply a small snapshot in time. And it's just an opportunity to learn and to grow, whether it be anywhere on that great, not so great spectrum. But it is definitely a great tool to have in your back pocket, so long as we're able to recognize all of those things. So that's great.
Yeah. What other events are you playing this year?
Well, the Open will be the next one. That one is quite personal for me. So I've tried out 3 times and have not had any luck. I've come close. It's like how Katie was mentioning, like close. I get myself within, I don't know, 50, 100 pins, maybe off of a team with 3 games to go.
Yeah.
And the first year I hit a physical wall. It was my first time ever trying out. I hadn't ever bowled that many games. Like this was before I was even bowling cash tournaments. And it was like game 16. And I was like, I am in pain. Like I physically am barely able to walk myself down the approach, never mind be aggressive at the line. And then my second year was kind of a mental blockage. So I was able to physically get through it. And then last year, I had some not great news that was received right before the trials. And so to battle that, it was mentally my strongest year, but I just, unfortunately, I had a fall. I think it was like game 18 or 19. 18. Yeah, it was like right at the end and fouled. And that one was like really tough to come back from, being super close. But this year, I'm really hoping with all of the work that I've done that I can at least, like, I've always kind of put myself just outside of that line after day 1. So my goal this year is to put myself in a better position after day 1. I think all 3 times I have been 12th after day 1, which is not taking myself out of it, but definitely is like I'm chasing. And this year I would love to not be chasing. I would love to be trying to just hold the line and stay consistent and hold a spot. So
I mean, I think even with that, Kayla, like you're doing great and you are in a very competitive zone, right? So, I mean, let that inspire you a little bit as you head into the end of January for those 2 days. And I do think with all the work that you're doing, you're ready. Just let yourself be ready.
So
all the things will come together.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having
celebrating
me.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic success. And it'll be one of many.
Thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, Kayla.
Thank
Congratulations.
Take care, Kayla.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
I'm cheering for her
I
for
love
the
those
Open.
stories.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so great. Feel good moments.
It is.
I always say, regardless of outcomes, like so much pride. And I know she has a lot to be proud of because you can see the evidence of all the work that she's put in. But I love seeing those kinds of stories about
Me too.
how all the work like comes together and you can
And
see
pays
a
off.
physical representation of it. It's fantastic.
I sometimes struggle to like be proud of myself, but like in that moment when she came off the lane, I was like, I'm so proud of you. Like I talked about it all. I was like, did you hear Kayla bold this? Like to anybody who would listen. So
I love it.
I think that's a prime example is we need to give ourselves the grace that we're willing to share with others, because if we're so willing to give grace to other people and celebrate other people, we should be able to do the same thing to ourselves.
We should be, yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
But now I think we should celebrate a few other people.
That's right. We have some people who've been celebrated. We were not able to get all of them on. There's a big, large group of them. But we do have a couple of them with us tonight. So we are going to bring in some fantastic ladies from Saskatchewan. Hello, Julie and Coral.
Hi.
Hi, ladies.
How is everybody doing?
Doing good.
Oh,
Very quiet lady.
Oh, I
think we're
Oh, there we go.
There we go. There we go. Amazing.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah. So you two are part of a group of, I believe it's 8 ladies, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
That were just inducted not only to like a bowling hall of fame, but to a sports hall of fame, like the Saskatoon Sports Hall of Fame, which is a fantastic accomplishment. That doesn't happen very often.
Does not happen very often at all for bowling.
Yeah. Five-pin bowling is not like super recognized in just like the sport world. But so
I feel like in general, having any sport being recognized in a hall of fame is phenomenal. And to have it be like bowling is just another highlight of what an incredible achievement this is.
Well, and the process to like actually have someone or an association take enough time to like build up all of the credentials and then submit them, that's like a whole another piece. So who like, I don't know who did that for you guys, but who like submitted it? Was it the association?
It was Ed Whitehead that nominated us.
Okay.
And then between Ken and all of us on the teams, we gathered all the information and photos and everything that they needed.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Do you want to give us kind of like a little bit of a rundown of who was part of this special accomplishment and achievement?
Sure. There was 3 teams, so we won 3 years in a row from Fairhaven Bowl in Saskatoon. So there was a lot of sisters that were involved in this 8. So there was Coral and Robin Bolton, Megan and Lindsay Berg, and Candice and Crystal Oranchuk, and then myself and Michelle Simpson were the non-sisters, but we were adopted on these teams.
The non-sisters.
Non-sisters.
Amazing. So each one of the 3 years was kind of a combination of those 8 ladies, depending on who was like aging out, who was coming in, that kind of thing. Is that how it worked?
Right. Yeah.
Amazing. You had mentioned that you guys had gathered up some pictures and things. Do we want to show the video now? And then we can kind of talk about some stuff that's in it. So it was sent to me. I had asked for kind of just a little bit of info and background on what was going on with these ladies. So if you have not seen this video, I know it was posted on Facebook, but it's like a 5-minute just little video that kind of showcases the teams and all of the things that they were doing together. So we'll just take a quick look at that and then we can chat about it all.
It wasn't just for show. It totally kept us connected and focused. And it just reminded everybody in the building that we were there to win, and we did.
Most of us bowled together and worked together at the Alley for years before our win in '98. We were a close group with great chemistry that allowed us to have a lot of fun and success on the lanes.
The most unforgettable moment was cutting off our coach's ponytail after the big win. That memory will stay with me forever. Some kids dream of making it to nationals once, and we went multiple times, coming out on top each time. That's when it hit. We weren't just a good team, we were something special.
No one supports youth bowling like the Hunter family. They let us practice at off-period times, and we practiced a lot.
Practice wasn't just about bowling for us. It was about being together as friends. We bonded over teenage drama, inside jokes, work, and Coach Ken's odd but surprisingly effective drills.
One moment I vividly remember was from the 1999 Nationals. It was the one and only time that I got to play on a nationals team with my older sister, Candace.
The moment I remember most vividly about nationals, my last year of YBC, and the only year I'd get to share it with my sister, Crystal. That in itself was so special, but watching her earn the Triple Crown was unforgettable.
Since we all bowled together for many years, we had great chemistry and plus some great coaching as well.
I'm proud to have coached 5 national championship YBC teams. And I have to say that this group is the greatest group of YBC bowlers in the history of the game.
Honestly, some of the funniest and most unexpected moments happened off the lanes. Looking back now, I can see what we accomplished was special and that we were part of something that may not be easily repeated. It makes me appreciate those years even more. If I could go back and play on that team, I'd probably just say something like, let's have fun, laugh too loud, cheer too hard, and let's make memories that we're going to be talking about for the next 20 years.
On November 1st, 2025, 25 years after a record-setting run, 3 5-pin teams from Hunter's Fairhaven Bowl were recognized for their exceptional achievement. In YBC 5-pin bowling, dynasties are nearly impossible, national champions age out, and replacements rarely match their skill. Yet Hunter's Fairhaven Bowl senior girls, 14 to 18 years, had the depth and competitive fire to defy the odds, winning Canadian titles in 1998, 1999, and 2000. This team three-peat was the first in YBC Nationals, making them the only team dynasty in the event's 60-year history. Ken Grischuk, previously inducted to the Saskatoon Sports Hall of Fame in 1994, coached the team. Robin Bolton played all 3 years. Coral Bolton, Julie Kolendreski, Candace Orenchuk, Crystal Orenchuk, and Michelle Simpson were on 2 of the teams. Lindsay Berg and Megan Berg were each on 1 senior girls gold medal team. Robin and Coral Bolton are sisters. So are Candace and Crystal Orenchuk. So are Lindsay and Megan Berg. When the playoffs got going, opponents said, "Oh brother." In YBC's city and provincial roll-offs, 5-player teams play 4 games with the highest total winning. Fairhaven cruised. At Nationals, teams play a triple round robin. The team with the most wins takes the title. Fairhaven was the dominant team each year, setting records with 20 total wins in 1998 and 19 straight wins in 1999. Coral received the Most Outstanding Performance Award in 1998. Crystal followed up by winning the award, back-to-back, in 1999 and 2000. Coral Bolton, Crystal Orenchuk, Lindsay Berg and Julie Kolendreski completed a career triple crown by winning nationals in 3 age groups. In YBC, Fairhaven Bowl is the gold standard. Hunter's Fairhaven Bowl senior girls teams of 1998, 1999, and 2000 welcome to the Saskatoon Sports Hall of Fame. You truly deserve this honor.
I think it's neat that now we get to say that we're in the same Hall of Fame as Gordie Howe.
Unmute everybody here.
So cool.
I love how a video was made to kind of just put it all together and go through like what it was back then with some pictures from the Hall of Fame induction now. Like just so cool to see it all together like that.
It was such a fun night. Like we all just picked up exactly where we left off years ago, and we were laughing and joking and sharing food, passing it around. It was a good time.
Yeah. Are all of you still bowling now?
Not all of us, no.
No. Okay.
Most of us did a little bit out of YBC,
Mhm.
but right now I think there's maybe 3 of us left bowling out of the 8.
Yeah, the 2 of us and Crystal.
And Crystal, yeah. Wow. So that would be really cool to just get everybody back together again and like reminisce a little bit, especially if you're not seeing each other all the time. I mean, obviously some of you would because of the sibling thing, but not in a bowling alley. The sibling thing. Lots of siblings.
Well, it's
Yeah,
hard
if you
to believe
moved away.
25 years ago, like 25, 26, 27 years ago, like the time just goes by so fast.
It does, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us some like memories that you had from those years, whether it be exciting moments, funny moments, the hair cutting? What's that?
That was so awesome because Ken had a long ponytail and he said, if you guys win nationals, you can cut it off. And we like made the records with all our wins. And then afterwards, like immediately following the medal ceremony, we were cutting his hair.
Oh my
Like didn't even wait till you get home. Just
Oh no, we hacked it up pretty good.
I love that. So take us back to that year that the records were set of like 20 wins and only 1 loss. In the moment, like when you were playing as teenagers, did you realize the significance of that and the accomplishment that was?
I don't think in the moment that we really did. Like we were just out there having fun. Like we all just got along so well. We clicked together. And it was fun. Like we were singing our cheers and bowling well. And then you're not really thinking about the end result so much. You're just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a record though. My goodness. Like I can't even fathom that.
I'm assuming that record still is held. Like I don't think that's been beat.
Yeah.
No.
There's
What
no
about
way.
I don't think there has been, but
post
it's changed a lot.
YBC? Did you guys ever form a team outside of YBC with all of the same players?
No.
You started to move away, right? Like some individuals, so that gets tricky. So yeah, so then that definitely was a little bit more special.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Was that kind of time and like that group, was that like some of your first gold medals as a bowler, or was that something that like you all had medals from earlier on individually or on different teams before that?
Yeah, some of us had medals back in bantams or juniors as well. And we mostly bowled together throughout all those times. It just was different, age groups every time or ages.
Right.
But yeah, those were some of the best times. And now you don't realize how good we did have it with the 5-player teams. A lot of the things that we remember a lot about those years were being belted. And we'd be belted as a team. So you're really close. You were always hanging out together. Your parents weren't always around, right? You weren't staying with your parents. So you really became really close that way.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever keep their uniforms from those years? Or I noticed you guys were all carrying little teddy bears. Do any of you have those keepsakes still?
I probably do have some. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have a shirt for sure and a coat, and a hat with the pins for trading. Yeah. And then I also have I have a Quebec shirt. I think I traded one year too. So
it's so wild to me how much like that tournament has changed. Like I was in the same kind of group as you, where it was 5-player teams. You go and get billeted. I still remember like the billet house in Sudbury, and me and my teammates had like the best time. We had a big pond outside. And now I've talked to kids, like when I go to Youth Challenge with them and we talk about the 4 steps, and they're like, yeah, it's a doubles tournament. And it's super quick. There's no billeting at all. You stay with your parents. Like, it's changed so much. And in a way, like, I'm sure in many ways it's changed for the better in a lot of things, but you really can't replace how it was. Like, it was just so fun and incredible to be with your team in that kind of environment. And then, like, to be able to do it multiple years in a row with the same people, and you just get to kind of build on it every year and build on that momentum and that energy together.
Exactly. I kind of feel bad for those that just bowl doubles now. Like, it was something truly memorable to be able to bowl with all these people over and over and form the bonds that we have.
Yeah. Do you have any like memorable billet house stories from back then?
We probably have a few. But we probably don't want to share.
Think of one that are terrible.
I laughed a lot in the video when they were talking about sharing the teen drama. And I'm like, yes, but that's the whole point. This is what's the fun part, especially the billeting with all the drama. Love that.
We went out on a ferry when we were out in BC, and that was pretty fun. We got together with the guys team, and then there was a big get together with multiple teams. Like, yeah, we had some awesome billets that took us out, and we did sightseeing, and it was a good time.
I feel like back in the day when billeting was a thing, you either were the team that lucked out and had like the most fantastic billet family, that the house was perfect, it was gorgeous, they took you places, they cooked you great meals, or you had the exact opposite, and it was like, I don't know if I'm going to survive the week here. Like, I know my brother had one that was very sketchy, and like I had one that was just fantastic. Like, there was nothing in the middle.
I only had one experience, and it was in Torbay, Newfoundland. And I just remember the house being super cold. That's all I remember. But I think it was a good experience overall. I just remember being super cold.
So cold.
Yeah. To be fair, it would have been May, and May in Newfoundland is very cold anyway.
Okay, so that's what I remember.
That's a valid point. May in Newfoundland is very cold. July in Newfoundland is very warm.
Yeah.
Unbearably warm.
Unbearably humidity on the lanes warm.
In Torbay. Yeah.
I love that. So you two are some of the players from those teams that are still competing now. What is like kind of your competitive repertoire now, or what are you playing now, Julie?
I'm still trying to compete in everything. I don't have quite as much time anymore just because my kids are getting a little older and into a lot of things. So it doesn't allow me to go to as many tournaments as I'd maybe like to go to, but still trying to get back for sure. The Open, need to win another medal, you know, there's always those goals.
Coral?
Yeah, and I've kind of fallen off the tournament run myself. I think just involved with the kids' dance, and then work. Sometimes it doesn't correspond for me to take time off. But yeah, still hoping to do another Open, and then if we can convince enough, maybe we can have a reunion on a Masters team. That would be really cool too.
Really cool.
That would be
really cool.
The one thing I really noticed in the 5-minute video is how smooth all of the styles were. And because Julie and Coral, you're still, bowling, and we see you quite often, those styles are still very consistent. Do you find that for yourself? Like, I really noticed it when you guys were younger, but like I watched Coral quite a bit playing in Pro League, and then Julie played like nationals. It feels the same to me. Does it feel the same to you? Like, it looks the same for me.
Not always.
I think so. Some of the time. I know we get a lot of comments that you know exactly which house you came out of, like, because we all look the same.
Style. Yeah, very, very smooth styles. Yeah.
Might not get as low as I used to get, but
that's true.
But
don't think
I
feel
know, like I
kind of
coach
funny because
IBC
you
too,
kind
and I
of see
almost
that
seem to
all
coach the
across
same
the
way.
country too. Like you can see this is someone from the West Coast. This is someone specifically Saskatchewan has a very like
deep lunge
signature style. And the same thing the first time I came out to Newfoundland, I never realized most Newfoundlanders throw the ball out really, really far. And largely because there's no oil out here. So they throw the ball out so far. And it's so funny to see how, there's a style that's almost indicative of where you
you're
hail
from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I think as you're like playing with certain people, and like if all of the ladies or all of the people you're bowling around as you're growing up have a certain style, you're obviously going to be more likely to emulate that. And then the next generation that comes up that sees the Julies and the Corals still bowling are going to do kind of a similar thing and watch them. So it just kind of keeps going on and on. One other question I had about back to the Hall of Fame, because this is like just so cool that something that happened 25 years ago, you're still playing now, but then you get this call of, hey, we want to induct you into the Saskatoon Hall of Fame for Sports Hall of Fame for what happened when you were teenagers. Like, how did it feel? Or like, were you surprised when you got this call being like, we still remember this and we still want to recognize this huge accomplishment from so long ago?
Yeah, I was surprised, definitely, and excited. It feels good to be recognized even bigger for the accomplishments that we made, because it is history making, really. Like, there hasn't been another team that has done 3 in a row, and with most of the same people that just slightly shuffled up, and just the bonds that we made, the record scores that we set. It's nice. It's exciting.
Yeah, it was a really nice honor to get that call, actually. It has been a while. So you thought, well, I don't think it's going to happen. But so it's nice when it does happen that it is recognized, and people do recognize it as a good, it doesn't happen very often.
You both have been a part of the game for so long. A question I have for you is, in YBC, you're not maybe exposed to maybe a few age groups like older than you, but was there anybody who really inspired you in the game, or you kind of mentored to be throughout your journey in the game?
I think for me, sorry, Coral.
No, go ahead.
I think for me, it was always my peers that I looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were always fighting to make a team. So, like one year I'd be an alternate, and it was like, no, next year, like I want to push harder and I want to make that team because they're having so much fun on that team. So, and we had great coaches too growing up.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely formed us all, was the good coaching. I know I started playing in some of the major leagues and some of the cash tournaments when I was younger. So I would see people like Tracy Anseth, Tracy, yourself. And I'd be striving to be like you guys. And I'm like, I am not going to be one of those that is the alternate or the one that's lagging behind this time. I want to be up at the top. And so that just helped push me.
Well, I love the whole piece around like your peers, because even if you took a good group of you guys were so fierce. You were competing against each other to kind of like make teams. So like you were making each other better.
Yeah.
So you created great sportsmanship, but you also created great friendship, and you created this really great competitive environment to learn from one another, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Took the words out of my mouth, Tracy. Like exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The fact that it was like such a cohesive unit where you can still support each other and yet raise each other up and challenge each other. Like that's what we could all hope for in any association, but in this game, it is truly a blessing.
Yeah. On your 3 years that you did the three-peat, was it the same coach with you all 3 years?
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, that's the thing about when you have like a team of 5, but you have 7 or 8 people all competing for those same things. Everybody is just going to elevate, right? And it makes them unstoppable. You put that group against the rest of the country where maybe they only have 5 people vying for those 5 spots on the team. And it just, you can see the difference in just that competitiveness because they've already had to compete to get there, right? I think we see that on open teams sometimes, we see that through masters and things as well, but at the youth level especially, it's hard sometimes to find those competitive moments until you get to nationals or get to provincials. And so if you're able to do that, even just to get on the team, that's already going to give that upper hand. And like, obviously it benefited.
And we all have the drive to be there. I think that helped too. Like between working and bowling and leagues and tournaments and stuff, most of us were there like 6 days a week. And then like, I think it was Candace said, like the drills that we did, they were fun and it was always being switched up, but it was working on all of your pin picking and sparing and, you know, all the components of the game. And then we would have the ghetto blaster going and glow bowling and like distractions. So, you know, you're putting everything that you would see in a big tournament. And so nothing fazed us. And so we just played our game and did what we knew how to do. So I think the whole coaching aspect and the work that we put in really showed.
Did I see a board game somewhere in that as well? Is that what that was? The dice and the grabbing and the something? Was it a board game?
Yeah, it was sort of a game I think Ken made up or whoever made up. And, you know, if you threw a strike, you got to move 2 spaces. If you threw a spare, or 3 spaces for a strike, 2 for a spare, 1 for a cleanup. And you pushed each other out. And you always had candy. So it was the candy at the end that was the bonus.
The motivator.
Yeah.
I love that.
We need to start bringing that to adult
tournaments. The
tournaments.
answer to that as soon as I started watching it, and it completely left my brain because I was so excited about everything else. I love that.
Yeah. The next Alberta Masters ladies team, Tracy, we need to make a board game for in the
Something like I remember getting like a quarter for like every strike that I threw. Like it was just a simple, wasn't a lot, but it was simple.
Yeah.
Not sure I'd be motivated by candy right now in my older years, but yeah.
We could find things to motivate us though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We could find something.
For me, it might be that big sandwich moment, Katie. Yeah.
The giant
and
one.
that's just a different story, but yeah.
Yeah.
So moving forward, ladies, do you have any other goals that you want to accomplish? Anything on your radar that you know is next for you?
I'd like to make another open team coming up. Shoot for the playoffs with the Kingpins for sure as well.
Yeah.
A pro league title.
Great goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how great pro league is, so that's a fantastic goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie, do you have any goals for the season ahead or for a few years?
For this season, I'm just hoping to maybe bowl the Open. Hopefully, I'm not having a very good year. And I mean, that's the way it goes when you've been bowling for this long. Your years go up and down. Mm-hmm. So just to get over that hump is my goal right now. Make sure I have fun when I go. And
a huge goal.
Yeah.
A huge goal.
Yeah. That one sometimes is like the hardest goal.
Literally.
It truly is.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to have fun in bowling. It's so
Sometimes
serious
I feel
about
that.
it.
I know.
You can always have fun.
That is a really good goal.
But yeah, like I want to continue because my kids are in bowling, right? And they're starting to get to that level where they're improving a lot more. My daughter just made the Winter Games team, so she's really pumped about that.
That's excellent.
My son's really improving. Like I think they're taking all my talent away from me this year, actually. So I got to try and fight and get that back. So that's motivating me right now.
Yeah.
I love it.
For sure. Well, thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your Wednesday evenings to celebrate a huge accomplishment and a very well-deserved honor. And please make sure you pass on to the rest of your teammates our congratulations. And that we were sorry they weren't able to join us tonight, but we're very proud that you guys are in there.
Thanks so much for having us.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having us.
Congratulations.
Thank
See
you.
you on the lane soon. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
You bet.
Take care, ladies.
Amazing.
Love the video, Katie. Thanks for taking the time to like showcase that. Yeah, I know it was on
So
Facebook,
good.
but I just felt like it really helped build the moment in talking with Julie and Coral. And yeah, what a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. They like truly, I think in the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame, there's 2 5-pin bowlers.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, and Alberta has an abundance of people who potentially should or could be in that Hall of Fame. And that's just Alberta. So I think anytime we have players who are inducted into something like that, that's not just like the C5 Hall of Fame, which obviously is a huge accomplishment in itself, being recognized amongst the peers within our sport, but to be recognized amongst all of the other athletes in the province or in that area as someone who deserves to be in there as well should definitely be recognized. So
I agree. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
yeah, I'm glad we were able to get a couple of them on. I know some of them had some busy plans. Some of them were a little bit more camera shy of coming on to answer some questions, but I'm glad we were able to get those 2 ladies on. And that brings us to the end of our night.
It was wonderful.
Already, just like that.
Yeah. Oh, it flew by. The next ladies podcast is like our December 17th, right before the holidays.
Favorite
So I'm
time.
sure
It's my favorite
we will have-
podcast.
yeah, we'll have something fun planned for that one, I'm sure. But yeah, anything else you guys have?
Appreciate you, ladies. Was a really great hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We will
appreciate
see
you both.
you all in December.
Sounds good.
Take
See
care,
y'all later.
everyone.